suspended, I think, it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. I mean, Ian Wright said it there best, folks. People deluded. I'm back again. First things first. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, in some cases, good night. If you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. If you haven't liked the video, make sure you're doing such. And any comments you guys have throughout of this video on everything we discussed, I'm sure, you know, I am sure you've got a lot of thoughts on Nicolas Pepe. I'm not too sure you haven't said it already, but nonetheless, let's get into it now. As we know, official confirmation has now been confirmed. Nicolas Pepe leaves the club. We can confirm that Nicolas Pepe is leaving the club. We have agreed with Nicolas to terminate his contract with immediate effect. The Ivory Coast international Nicolas, who joined us from French side Lille in the summer of 2019, won the FA Cup with us in 2020, assisting our winning goal in the 2-1 victory over Chelsea. During his time at the club, the forward has made 111 appearances for us in all comps. The 28-year-old, who had 1 year left on his contract, spent last season on loan at Liga side Nice, where he made 28 appearances, scoring 8 goals during the campaign. Everyone at Arsenal thanks Nicolas for his contribution during his time with us and wishes him well for the future. And I'd like to echo that, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. Now, for Nicolas Pepe, I'm happy for him because I'm happy for 3 parties. I'm happy for the fans because I do believe under Mikel Arteta in the last 12, 18, 2 years, 3 years, we're finally getting into a scenario where we're talking about what Arsenal or what players are doing on the football field and what they're bringing or not bringing in good games and bad games. You lot know Arsenal have had a lot of soap opera dramas. You look at Manchester United, we don't condone some of the things that have been going on with certain players off the field, but just, and without sounding disingenuous, you know, there's a lot of things to discuss about Man United on the field, and I feel it for their fans because I hope every football fan could be in a scenario where you just talk about football and not necessarily things off the field. And I think, you know, with Pepe, that kind of signals, you know, there's always going to be drama and all of that. But with Nicolas Pepe now leaving the club, there's less drama for Arsenal fans. Obviously, Nicolas Pepe can go play at a team that wants to play him, and he can play. And obviously, Mikel Arteta can move forward with the individuals that he deems are good enough or he wants to utilize for this season. Obviously, we've shaved 140k a week wages off the wage bill. And whatnot. I am a bit disappointed. And what I mean by disappointed in that, clearly we was never going to get any close to 72 odd million. It would have been nice to get a transfer fee for Nicolas Pepe in some capacity because he's good enough. But with a year left, obviously, you know, he's probably been offered around to European clubs all summer. When the window shut, there was nothing there. I don't know why he didn't move to Saudi Arabia, but that move never happened. And he does get a move to Turkey. What started off with Besiktas is now with Trabzonspor. Apparently, he signed a 1-year deal with the option of another year. And at 28 years of age, obviously, he can play for a new deal. Or if he impresses over there, maybe he gets a move to a stronger European league, really. So, yeah, big him up. We all know, you know, playing in Turkey is a madness in a good way. You know, I don't like to say it, but it's one of them countries, you know, much like a lot of clubs, countries in Europe where football borders on religion, like the fans, it's great atmosphere, it's crazy atmosphere, it's derbies. And obviously, Turkey's a lovely country to live in, really. So, yeah, big up Nicolas Pepe. We wish him all the best, really. And he always typically has a smile on his face. I think despite the fact it hasn't worked out, I don't think any Arsenal fans really have anything against Nicolas Pepe. Some Arsenal fans probably of the belief, you know, let's keep him. At least he could be a wild card off the bench. He's someone that probably the closest in terms of ability to competing with Bukayo Saka. But I think I've covered everything I can cover about Nicolas Pepe, really. I don't think Arteta fancies him tactically. You know, at his best, there's very few players in terms of ability that have more than Pepe, but you don't know what you're going to get from the man in over a 10-game period. He's going to be some of those, if we just said he got a run of 10 games in the team, 5 of those, he's going to be the best player. He's almost going to look like a black Lionel Messi. Others, he's going to look worse than Albrighton, and some he's going to be indifferent. And at 28 years of age, for the money we spent, where we're trying to go as a football club, he needs to be a go-to man, and he doesn't necessarily provide that. You're more likely to get, I know Saka, you know, is an anomaly and he's gone from strength to strength in every game he's played, but he's a 22-year-old academy product. You know, Arteta, in theory, shouldn't have more faith in him than a £72 million man. I mean, you did have some good memories under Mikel Arteta. There was a point where he was playing consistent football and whatnot, but it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts on Nicolas Pepe if you haven't already. Lord knows we've discussed Pepe at length time after time again. And his loan spell at Nice, he didn't pull up any trees, really. That loan was designed for him to put himself in the shop window. Unlikely to get a chance under Mikel Arteta or convince Nice or other European clubs to make a move. Romano's confirmed that he leaves on the free transfer. Once again, we've just seen confirmation on Arsenal.com. His contract's been ripped up. Edu has shown that he will do that if need be, and he'll do it again. You'd imagine with, you know, now us moving into a different light, there isn't going to be too many of those. The Ivorian winger has joined Trabzonspor on a short-term deal, done and sealed since 2 days ago. And I'm sure you've all seen the videos and whatnot of him traveling there, arriving in Turkey, being greeted by fans, and so on and so forth. And you look at Arsenal's contract termination since August of 2020: Mkhitaryan, Socrates, Mesut Ozil, Mustafi, Willian, Kolasinac, Aubameyang, Bellerin, and Nicolas Pepe. The only ones that I would say that Mikel Arteta, apologies, needs to hold that L is Willian, because you brought him in and you lot gave Aubameyang the new deal. Everyone else, while I would like to see transfer fees, you're kind of right in the wrongs of previous regimes, really and truly. It would have been nice to have seen transfer fees secured. It definitely would have been nice to have seen a couple of these players secure some sort of fee for the club, but it is what it is. And when you look at them, unfortunately, not too many of them are having much joy. At the end of the day, if you're earning a living playing football, something we all aspire to do, your living life, innit? But, you know, fair enough, Mkhitaryan is still featuring on a regular basis for Inter Milan. Socrates, I think, is a starter for Olympiacos, another massive European club. Mesut Ozil, again, he's not really doing much. Mustafi, don't know where he is. Last time I checked in on Mustafi's team got relegated. Willian, again, he's done all right at Fulham, etc. Kolasinac, couldn't tell you where he is. Aubameyang's obviously left Chelsea. Hector Bellerin's back in his homeland. Is he? Because for some reason I still think you're at Sporting, and obviously we've seen Pepe. But yeah, Edu and the regime has shown they'll tear up contracts, really and truly. Moving away from that, Romano has said, ideally, I'm sure Arsenal would have liked to bring in a fee for Pepe, who was their record signing back in 2019. But in the end, his contract was terminated by the club. And this is not the first time we've seen them take this decision since Mikel Arteta became manager, with other big names like Ozil and Aubameyang also leaving in the same way. I think in some cases, it's the only way to move on and let the players try different experience, while the club can also save money by removing those players' big wages. Of course, it's not an ideal solution from a financial point of view, but in cases like this, there was no other way for Arsenal. And we all know in an ideal world, we would have got a transfer fee. You know, there probably was a reality where it goes on loan and for a year and another team pays some of his wages and we get a loan fee. Or what we expected is that his contract would be ripped up, really. So there you have it. I wonder if Arsenal, if it's a thing where they say, you know, we'll rip up your contract, but, you know, your contract is in total, this is how much you'll get. Let's agree this. And obviously Pepe probably came to an agreement. Well, he has to have come to an agreement if he kept it moving. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts and smash the like button. And when you look at the starting 11 of players that left for nothing, we all know Fabianski's one was a bit different. Wilshere's days were kind of behind him. Aaron Ramsey probably should have got a fee, but we all know the year, how it went. You know, our front three, when you consider how much that cost, Lacazette was 50 odd million quid, Pepe was 70 odd, and Aubameyang must have been a handsome fee. So let's just put that in over 100 odd million quid, not to get a fee for any of them, even though, you know, Lacazette was declining, even though he's gone to Lyon and bagging. Aubameyang didn't think it would end up like this. Pepe, you know, in situations where things would have been different, we never would have got our £72 million back. But if it worked out, you would have loved to have seen a healthy, you know, so a somewhat decent or healthy transfer fee. It's a decent starting 11. I think the defense will let you down, really. But if I just look at the point you lot left, Fabianski was a decent keeper. What he left after he won the FA Cup, the midfield is lit. I mean, you look at the midfield and the strike force, people, that would be lit. I'm not too sure a back five of Kolasinac, Bellerin, Socrates, Mustafi, and Fabianski is going to keep the required numbers of clean sheets, though. But nonetheless, people, moving on, Romano has said Arsenal are planning to continue talks with Martin Odegaard over a new long-term deal in the next week/months. Discussions ongoing. He could be the next top player to sign a new deal after Saliba, Gabriel, Saka, Ramsdale, Martinelli, and Nelson. And again, I do like that with Arsenal. I don't think it was an amazing summer. I don't think it was a terrible summer, but I think it's one Arsenal can look back with pride. On one hand, I don't want to praise people for doing what they should be doing. You should be tying new players down to contract, but it is nice as an Arsenal fan to see a proactive approach, and better yet, going into this summer, tying down Saka, Martinelli, Saliba. Saliba was the one for me because that seemed like the most techiest sort of one. Obviously, Martinelli has signed a new deal along with Nelson Ramsdale. There's also talk around Benjamin White. Speaking of Saliba, to get my man for 20, 27, 28, let's call it 30 million euros, you know, to get Odegaard, for around that, it's a steal. And for Saka to come through the academy, for Martinelli for 6 million, it shows when you're proactive and you have a development structure and how you see a player's trajectory, you save a lot of money. Odegaard is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. He's one of the best creative midfielders in the world. He's one of the last sort of organic poetry and motion kind of guys. In fact, as much as I say that, I think he's the modern day midfielder with a bit of that organicness. Like, I was having this conversation with a friend and I was thinking, which players do you think, you know, if Wenger was still here, who would Wenger want to work with? I said personally, I think Bukayo Saka. I do think Martinelli. I think he would love to. I think he would love to manage Martin Odegaard. I think he's a Wenger player with the greatest of respect to Arteta, who I'm happy with. But you know, tying players down to new deals is as vital as bringing people in. And I'm happy to see this summer, whether you like Kai Havertz or not, whether you like Timber or Rice or not. Two of the three, you know, probably all Arsenal fans like. We was proactive in bringing them in. We tied down players to new deals. You know, there was no dramas with the Salibas, the Sakas, the Martinelli's contracts running down. Are we going to sell them? Are we not? Especially Salibas, because he essentially had a year left. So big up Arsenal for that. Hopefully the Capitano, Martin Odegaard, signs a new deal. Kai Havertz has said, I think so far in my career, I've had phases here and there where things were a little bit bumpy. And of course, I know that you, in brackets, the media, after 4 match days will just point out the negatives and a lot of bad stuff will be written. It's not the first time I've come to a new club, so I know that it can take a bit longer and I'm relaxed about it. It's only my second month there. So that's why I'm relatively relaxed. Hopefully it works out for you, Havertz, really and truly, because you are a Premier League proven player relatively. I know you're still adjusting to Arsenal's system. Obviously, we're still trying to get the relationships on the left-hand side to the scale of that on the right. But yeah, with Fabio Vieira's cameos, who knows, man? Your days, you might have to hold the bench. Big up Gabriel. Big Gabriel. He's finally been capped by Brazil in their 5-1 victory. I'm sure you saw Richarlison crying. People, we got 84 minutes. There were some rumors that he came off and his knee was in the ice, was being iced up. Apparently, those rumors have been quashed and he's all right, people, and he can be seen in the latest training video. So big up Gabriel on that. Allegedly, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and Manchester City are keeping tabs on Atletico Madrid and Argentina defender Molina. Did he not score the winning penalty for Argentina? I could be wrong. Decent fullback, fairly versatile. Don't really buy it if I'm completely honest with you. But for what it's worth, last season he played 43 times. He's got a release clause of 90 million euros and his contract, well, they're hoping to tie him down till 2019. So again, players in contract talks. He's then been linked with several clubs. I'm not too sure, you know, we can read too much into that, really. I think maybe the other clubs are more aggressive. You'd imagine if we were going to bring the 25-year-old to the football club, people, it would have been done during the summer. You know, in January, we might need to act in the market depending on where we are and the landscape of Arsenal. Marcelo Flores has headed to Mexico, people, and signed for Mexican side club Tigres in a permanent transfer. The 19-year-old came through our academy, joined us from Ipswich Town, and he's been sold. So we wish him all the best. Hopefully he does well in his homeland. He grows in stature. He improves on his free caps for his country and gets a move back to a European league. It was always a difficult ask making the grade here. So yeah, man, we wish him all the best, really. So yeah, and he's posted farewell messages. Apparently, Declan Rice has been speaking during the international break and spoken about his new days at Arsenal, where Arteta made him wear a badge saying he's the new guy here. Arteta's on banter. He spoke on, you know, having no ill feelings towards West Ham. He said, I still can't explain the feelings. People leave clubs and lose affiliations with that club. I still speak to the boys on a regular basis. I text the manager at the start of the season saying, good luck, boss. He texted me back. We've got a good relationship. People at the club, we're still constantly talking, and I never want it to not be like that. Big up yourself. You are Mr. West Ham. I won't bore you with what Kieran Tierney is saying. I can't lie. Kyrill's been in for some scrutiny by the Polish media for his performance in the 2-0 defeat to Albania, which I'd better you do it in a Poland shirt than an Arsenal one. In terms of minutes at this moment in time, Odegaard got 62 minutes for Norway in their 6-0 friendly win over Jordan. Saliba came on in the 73rd minute against the Republic of Ireland. Big up yourself, people. And obviously, we just saw Kirill and Gabriel got some minutes. So, yeah, one love to them, really. Once again, people, Gabriel's injury has been squashed, really. But it does say we're still sweating on the fitness. We don't need any more of that. Once again, big up Gabriel for making his debut for his homeland. So, yeah, with that being said, there doesn't appear to be anything else to discuss. Let me know your thoughts. Again, you can see my alarm is early morning. Apologies. As I was saying, Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Let me know your questions. Don't forget, people, check out my community tab. I will be having a lot of other content creators during the week to make videos within that. At the time of making this video at 2 p.m. UK time, I'm going live with the different knocks, so make sure you turn on your notifications. Head over to the YouTube community tab because we've asked you a lot for some topics to discuss. I hope you lot have had a great start to the week. As usual, people, have a great week. Hope you and your loved ones are in good health. Smash the like button, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, check out the other vids. But for now, one love, I'm out.
There's always just that active red light defending. I think it's like